tell me about the word Nephilim. What does that mean?
In the Hebrew, it comes from the verb nephal. It means the fallen ones, and that's the term used. Don't confuse that with the fallen angels. The fallen angels, according to Genesis 6, cohabited with human women to produce a hybrid offspring that are called in the Hebrew the Nephilim. In the Septuagint version of the Old Testament, the translation of the Old Testament into Greek, they use the word gigantes, which is transliterated giants, right. And they did happen to be giants, but that's not what the word means. The word actually means, in the Greek, the earthborn. And so, from the Greek point of view, they're earthborn. From the Hebrew point of view, they're the fallen ones. But either way, they're pointing to a hybrid, and it apparently was part of Satan's plan to contaminate the Messianic line.
But so the purpose of the flood was to get rid of these.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. You study verse 9 of Genesis 6. It speaks of Noah that his genealogy was untainted, unblemished, and apparently it was a distinctive in that sense. He may not have been unblemished, and apparently it was a distinctive in that sense, unblemished, and apparently it was a distinctive in that sense.
legend tells us that he was a light-skinned, bearded man who came from the stars. Supposedly, he taught men law, the arts, and the cultivation of corn. The head of a great feathered serpent represents the god Quetzalcoatl. When Quetzalcoatl finished his mission on Earth, he departed to his native star, promising to come back someday. The Mayans named their patron Kukulkan. In every 6,000 years, the Mayan calendar is off by only one day. Such was the gift of Kukulkan. Kukulkan supposedly came from the stars and returned to them, leaving the Mayans to build observatories to search the heavens for him. Guarding the headwaters of the Amazon River are the ruins of Machu Picchu, an outpost of Peruvian Inca society. There is a curious folk legend surrounding the origin of this fortress. It is said to have been built by a divine race of light-skinned, auburn-haired descendants of the god Viracochas, who arrived in a flaming chariot. Nothing remains of these supposed people, but the legend goes on to say that they abandoned their citadel and returned to the skies. They left only the ruins of their mountaintop city for us to wonder at.
She's sat this way for more than 1,000 years, propped up against an earthen wall, a pair of orbs in her eye sockets setting a blank blue stare since about 700 AD. Wrapping her in tissue paper, Peruvian archaeologists hoisted the mummy to the surface in the Huaca Pucllana excavation site as cars whizzed by in the country's capital city, Lima. 2 more adults and a child who appeared to have been sacrificed were extracted from the same tomb earlier in the week. The first burial to be discovered intact at the dig site, archaeologists say the ancient scene dates back to the Wari culture that flourished in Peru even before the Incas came to power.